In today's video, I'd like to talk about the relation between minimalism and sustainability and why they can be found in each other, and also how and why this lifestyle makes me more happy and maybe could make you more happy. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Jo, and on my channel I talk about sustainable living, minimalism and architecture. So first of all, let's start with the definition of minimalism. And if you haven't watched it already, go check out my previous video about my story of becoming a minimalist. You can check it out here. What I found on the Oxford Languages is a style or technique as in music, literature or design that is characterized by extreme spareness and simplicity. It doesn't say as much, so that's why I want to dive a little bit into that. Actually, this is really interesting that this term of minimalism actually started to be used as such only like 50 or 60 years ago. We know it from art and architecture, and finally for something that we call the minimalist lifestyle, that in recent years there seems to be quite a hype on the internet, and that has been developed, and people posting videos and photos how they have like 100 or less things or 50 or less things, selling everything they own or living with almost no furniture. But actually there's no one size fits all. It's not about living on the floor or having 100 things, because this is something that everyone should find for themselves. And even though the minimalists have been really like pigeonholed as the ones that reject everything material and live with in a home with all white walls. Actually, I have white walls, but this is not like my choice. Whatever. But like this, there's not like one scheme or one recipe for that, and I think it's really important to understand, because it's really not as black and white as many might think, and actually on a much more personal level than we see on Instagram or Pinterest. This is something that I find very, very important, and I think the minimalists, they have a blog and they address this there as well, and you can really check it out. I really also recommend to watch the documentary by them on Netflix. It's really nice, and I'll also put the link down into the description box. So going back, the goal is actually to really search for happiness, not through things but life itself. I think it's also about being more creative while consuming less, providing instead of taking in things. So for everybody it means to have like a different amount of things maybe that make you happy or that are essential for you and are important to you. For example, watching TV is a really typical consumerism good, which claims a lot of your time. Imagine there's no television at home. There's probably much more time which you could use creatively, going onto a walk and meeting with friends, analyze people and get inspired and do something with that. That's what I mean with not taking in but providing something to do something. So not having a TV, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be a TV, but maybe it makes your life more concentrated on the here and now and free from all the distraction, because TV is the thing that distracts people from being productive and creative. That is really my opinion, but it could be anything for you. So this is also something that I find important as a minimalist, to just find things that do not fit into your lifestyle, into what makes you happy, what fulfills you in that sense. So this is just like an example, but it's definitely true for me. Even though we have a TV now, I know that I will not buy myself one if I live by myself, because I don't see like a good reason for that, and it not consumes so much time that I don't want to spend on watching TV, but instead do something actively, because being passively overloaded with things don't make your brain work and it doesn't make you creative. So this is really something that I realized throughout my childhood and throughout my teenage, that this is something that actually I don't think nobody needs to be more happy. Now, what does all of this have to do with ecology and sustainability? Here I want to mention Shelby and her eco-minimalism term, which she uses in her YouTube videos a lot, And I just want to make a reference to that because I just think it's being on the point. So eco-minimalism is something really that connects sustainability with minimalism. Minimalism doesn't have to be sustainable actually, but if you choose to live minimally in sake of our planet, I think very quickly you'll find eco-minimalism the fitting lifestyle technique that describes you. Even though I'm not always a fan of rigid definitions, terms, or lifestyle descriptions, and you may know that if you're subscribing to my channel for a while, here I think that it's very suitable because minimalism itself is very diverse and eco-minimalism puts it into more of a sustainable ecology niche. I just say that because I don't want anyone to feel like to be called this or that, you have to be like 100% in, doing everything perfectly and like the other people on the internet do or seem to do, because they don't, and nobody's perfect, so you cannot be like 100% a minimalist because something like that doesn't exist. Because, as I said before, minimalism is something that has really different phases for everyone. So I digressed a little bit here, but let's look at the connection between minimalism and ecology / sustainability more closely. As a minimalist, or more like an evolving minimalist, I strive to have like less things and only keep the ones that I really need or have a special value for me or make me happy. It also means that buying things is something secondary, and here it all comes together because I think that buying less means less waste, which means less energy and water use. At this point you may think like, what the hell, this is like a really strange thing that she says here and things like that, but when you stay in the way of thinking that you want to minimize your belongings, however big or small your goal is, it doesn't really matter. You decide not to buy as many things as you did before, probably. In my case, it was really like I knew something was up with me not liking to have a lot of things, but I didn't realize that. Maybe again, like going into the schemes and calling it that, this or that is maybe a little bit stupid or maybe a little bit unnecessary, but I just think sometimes people just really like to have like rules and things to go by. And I just realized someday that I'm just like a minimalist at heart, but I'm not like fully living it, not yet, because I'm not at that stage. I have like a long way to go, but that's why I call myself like evolving minimalist, because I don't think I have like reached the point where I can call myself like a real minimalist. These things aside, in minimalism often it's also the question of money and how much you actually want to spend on physical things. Actually, it's not about how much you can buy, or how much money you can spend, but more about how much you want to. And that is like having less things by choice. That is why I also think it's minimalism. So the thing with money is partly something that I cannot choose because I'm a student who is broke and partly because I actively want this, you know, and that's what I said before. And I realized that spending money on new things doesn't bring as much or even near that amount of joy and happiness than spending time with friends and family, going on a holiday or learning things. But I still need some things, right? Like I definitely don't want to sleep on my floor or walk around in a potato sack or something. So the first thing that comes in mind when you think about spending less money but still being able to buy things is buying things secondhand. It's cheaper and there are no new resources that are needed for the production. But the problem occurs when you don't find anything near that what you want to buy secondhand. What do you do then? So either you don't buy anything. There are people that just leave it at there and just think, all right, maybe I didn't need it as much, or yeah, I just skip it and buy it in 2 years or something. But if you really need it, you can buy it as you normally would, or you buy this item at a sustainable shop or brand. So each of these three are of course better, ecologically speaking, than buying a ton of things every week or every month or every day even. You can ask yourself, why do bother and look for these expensive, sustainable and ethical brands? Why do that? Because you bother, because you are concerned about the well-being of our planet and the people that are on it. If you do, I don't say you have to, but I certainly do bother, and so should everyone that live on this planet, I think. But this is another topic, which I will not cover in that video. It all comes together as a minimalist. You only buy things that are essential for you, which make you richer, both monetary as well as mentally, I think. That's why you can afford less but better things, and that are probably made locally or sustainably and ethically. This is really important for me, and of course this is something that everyone should do. It's not something that every minimalist is doing, and as I said before, even not buying as much and not being focused on like things is way more sustainable in that sense, even if you're not looking at sustainability. But this is like another level if you consider sustainability and ecology together with minimalism, because then it gets like really integral and it's working all together, I think, and it works really well together. I think if you really combine these two things like minimalism and sustainability, you not only care about yourself, you are also caring about your planet and the people that produce these items, that live on this planet, which I found is a very beautiful and powerful thought. I just want to give you on the way as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that you can find some value in it. I'm hoping to see you again soon and wishing you a very nice week. Bye!